Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your teacher Usman Ali, and I'm recording the video for our first numerical on the topic of cross-currency arbitrage. It is related to your third chapter of the international finance, actually. Now you have gone through the basics of the arbitrage and the different types of arbitrage. So I'm following here the cross currency arbitrage type actually, and the approach is triangular approach, which means like three currencies will be involved there. So let's say I have 10,000 pounds with myself and I want to convert these pounds into Australian dollar. So in my basic life, what I do is actually I just go to a money exchange guy and I ask from him that what is the price, and he gives me an exchange rate of pounds into Australian dollar, and I directly convert it actually. Okay, so whatever I get, whatever I receive from him, the amount of Australian dollar. So let's call this as A, that I have received a particular quantity of Australian dollar by converting it. Okay. Now, in the arbitrage situations, what we try to do is that we try to go little long journey, and I try to put a third currency into the matter. Let's say F's. Okay, so what I do actually here is that first I convert those $10,000 pounds into F's, and then the amount of F's I receive, then I convert them, sell them in order to receive Australian dollar. So my end result is same, Australian dollar, but to achieve this result I go a little long, and I try to follow a kind of a triangle approach actually. So that's why we call that as triangular approach. So the whole process that I have, this long journey, this is called indirect. So that this one is the direct method, and this one is the indirect method, because I have included a third currency into the process. And let's call the end result of this as B. And the whole objective is to see that the amount or the quantity of dollars I received by following the approach B or technique B, will it be greater than A or not? If it does, it means yes, I had some extra money, I had some extra cash inflows actually. So let's do a numerical in order to prove this thing. This is the concept of the triangular approach, or you can say cross-currency arbitrage. So at the end of your PPT chapter, you have experienced, not experienced, but you may have seen there that there are some tasks given there. These are the numericals. So let's do the task number 1 out of that. Now, as you know that I did a numerical with a supposition that suppose we have 10,000 pounds. Okay, so and I want to convert actually these pounds into Australian dollar. So if you see there there is this box kind of exchange rate at the end of the here. This is that box actually where I'm interested in, because I wanted to convert my pounds into Australian dollar actually, and that's my pound, and I wanted to convert that to Australian dollar. So you can say like this box is the problematic code, or this is the focus point. Problematic is just a word I'm using, it's not a formal word. Okay, so in order to know that can I make profit or not, the very first step I need to do is I need to calculate a cross code. Okay, or you can not completely call it, but still you can call it as cross multiplication, where what you do is that you try to multiply the non-problematic code, the one which are not in the box, these two. Okay, so I will write it here. Australian dollar divided by F's is equal to 0.02. So far so simple. Okay, and then I multiply the left hand side with the left hand side and right hand side with the right hand side. So I will multiply left hand side with the left hand side, which is F's divided by pound, and then I will multiply right with right, which is 0.02 multiplied by 122.60 actually. Now mathematically this F's can be cancelled with this F, they can be cancelled, and we end up with the result of Australian dollar divided by pound is equal to, when you multiply these two, you will get an exchange rate of 2.452. Now this exchange rate actually, ladies and gentlemen, do not exist in the market. This is just a cross code. This is just the end result of our calculation. actually in the market this price is prevailing right now. Okay, this is the market code. That's not the market code, but it's just our calculation result. And I just did it just to verify this thing, that does my cross code equals market code or not. If it does not, like right now I have like 2.452 and this is 2.450, which is mathematically not equal to each other. So that is a very good sign, because it means that if the cross code is not equal to market code, then there is an arbitrage opportunity available. Now the question is that can I earn this arbitrage, or can I avail this opportunity or not? To explore it, we need to do the numerical, or we need to extend the numerical a little more in order to know exactly can we earn profit out of it or not. Okay, now if you remember in the example which I gave you here, I followed the direct approach or the direct method and the indirect method. Okay, so I'm gonna do the same technique here as well. So I will divide my remaining part of the page or numerical into two sections like this. Okay, and I will name this section as the direct method, and I will go for the indirect method in this section. Okay, now if I go for the direct one, okay, so in the direct method, what I will do is that I will directly try to convert my 10,000 pounds actually into the Australian dollars. Okay, and in order to do this, I will go and search for the market price. So if you see the box one, the problematic one, we have here 10,000 pounds. Sorry, not 10,000 pounds. We have an exchange rate of Australian dollar by pound of 2.450. So we can use this exchange rate for this conversion actually. So I will write here Australian dollar divided by pound is equal to 2.450. Okay, which means 1 pound is equal to this much dollars. Now we had a rules. Those rules are basics in real life, like people don't kind of directly apply them, but as we are studying right now and in the literatures, educational part, like we are from, so we're gonna apply those basic rules actually. Okay, so the rule is currency in hand must be written at the bottom. Okay, which means if there is a quote, if there is an exchange rate, so whatever currency you have in hand, okay, that would be written at the bottom. Okay, and which you are not having, the currency not in hand, that would be written at the top actually. Okay, remember the rule, currency in hand must be written at the bottom. Okay, now here if you see I have 10,000 pounds with myself, so currency in hand is pound, and pound is already at the bottom, so it means that the rule is fine, there is no issue, I can proceed. And I will write here 1 pound is equal to 2.450 Australian dollars. Okay, in real life, money exchange guy, they don't need to go for this divided by that, they just directly use the calculator and that's it, like this they solve it. Okay, but we are following procedures because we are in an educational structure actually. Okay, and we are learning the basics as well. So 1 pound is equal to 2.45 Australian dollars, which means that the 10,000 pound, if I want to know how much it would worth be, so I will multiply quantity into the rate. The quantity I have is 10,000 pounds and the rate is 2.450 actually, which when I multiply, it becomes 24,500 Australian dollars. So means that if I directly convert my 10,000 pound, I'm going to receive this much Australian dollar. Let's call it as option A or A. Then I have another option, which is the indirect option. Okay, so I will, in the indirect option, if you remember that triangle, if you bring that into your mind, so in the indirect option, I had like 2 steps. I had a little long journey actually. First, in the first journey, I tried to convert my 10,000 pounds into Fs, if you remember. And then whatever Fs I got, I planned to convert it to Australian dollars. Okay, so let me find an exchange rate of pound to Fs. This is an exchange rate of pound to F in the market. Let me write it here. Fs divided by pound equal to 122.60. Currency in hand, that was the rule. Currency in hand must be written at the bottom. In hand I have 10,000 pound. Pound is already down there. No problem. Easy life. Okay? Which means that 1 pound is equal to 122.60 Fs. Or my 10,000 pounds would be equal to quantity into rate. And the quantity is, I want to convert 10,000 pounds, and the conversion rate is 122.60 Fs per pound. So when I convert it, I receive around 12 lakh and $26,000. Not dollars, really sorry, Fs. So I receive 1.2 million and like it's like 12 lakh and 26,000 Fs. Okay, I received this much money. So this is the money I have just received. Let me shift it here. Okay, and my next step would actually be try to convert this 1.2 million and some extra money into the Australian dollar actually. Okay, just for a reminder, I'm following this technique. I initially converted 10,000 pounds into F. I received 1.2 million plus Fs, and now I'm converting Fs into Australian dollar actually. Okay, so the exchange rate that I have is Australian dollar and Fs is this one. So I will write it here. Australian dollar divided by Fs is equal to 0.02. Again, the rule, currency in hand must be written at the bottom. Currency in hand is Fs because I know the quantity in hand, that's here. So no issue, I can proceed. 1 Fs is equal to 0.02 Australian dollar. Okay, or this is 1.2 million plus Fs will be equal to quantity multiplied by the rate. The quantity we have is this much, and the rate we have is 0.02. Now rounded figure, okay, I'm actually solving the numerical in rounded figures. Okay, so the rounded value of this would be 24,520 Australian dollars. Okay, so this, if you remember in the triangle, I call it as B. So actually I received some quantity of B, like quantity of Australian dollar, using the indirect method, which was B. And I had some quantity of Australian dollar received using the direct method, which I called it as A. And if I see I received $24,520 in B, and I just received 24,500 in A actually. So which means that I received 20 Australian dollars more in B as compared to A. So I actually ended up with 20 Australian dollars extra, which is a kind of a profit for me because I had more money. So this is the concept of arbitrage actually. You need to actually do the practice. So it's little like the numerical is, you can say, a little long, but it's not highly technical actually. And in all these triangular arbitrage numerical, you're gonna compare the direct with actually the indirect method. So that's it. So this is your answer of task number 1. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe.